Okay. All right, we are here to provide an update on the tornado relief efforts that have gone on this week. I have some updates from folks that are partners with us, and we're really excited that the Red Cross has come to join us today as well for this update. First, the private utility providers have asked us to share information with residents as they work to reconnect service. Shelley Dixie and I met today with Tom Reagan and the team that has been working nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, much like our folks. And I was really pleased that Lisa Kruger, the president of AES, was here on the ground as well. They shared with us that they've had 1,000 linemen here and 1,600 people working nonstop. And the breadth of the service for them, has been a really large part across their whole network. And really has been amazing just how quickly and how fast they're doing. Currently, we have 4,000 City of Dayton customers that are still without service. And I think they said at the height of service we had 12,000 in the City of Dayton that were out of service. And then overall in the whole region, there's 13,000 still without service. Now, as DP&L restores the remainder of our residents, you can help by making sure your home or business is ready to be reconnected. DP&L's website's homepage has what you need to know if there has been damage to your service line. So please be ready to be prepared to take that electricity by going to their website first and checking that out, to make sure that we continue to be safe as we get through this last bit. As Vectren restores service, please be aware that over the next few days, there may be periodical slight natural gas odors. If a strong odor is detected, please contact Vectren at 1-800-227-1376. We've been in touch with Senator Brown's office to discuss the process of federal emergency declaration and eventual assistance from FEMA. Our Housing and Building Department has completed an assessment of the damage and has been working with Montgomery County to ensure that the information makes it to the state government. Our understanding from Senator Brown's office is that FEMA will be on the ground next week to complete their own assessment and make the disaster designation. People in the affected areas may see FEMA staff at work, but please understand that they are only in Dayton to gather information next week, not yet to provide assistance. We have to wait for the federal government to officially declare an emergency in order to receive aid from FEMA. In the meantime, please continue to check DaytonOhio.gov/tornado response for information about resources that are available to help. If you are interested in volunteering or donating to relief efforts, you can also find more information about those opportunities, again, at DaytonOhio.gov/tornado response. Finally, I want to highlight the efforts of many of our small businesses that were impacted by this disaster too. Even businesses without damage were impacted by the power and water outages that followed. In fact, in the face of that, so many of our Dayton businesses stepped in to help their neighbors, passing out food and water, donating profits, or sharing information on social media. Tank's Bargain Grill couldn't open without water on Tuesday, but still made sandwiches to pass out in the hardest hit areas. Today, I had lunch with staff from the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Dayton Partnership, the Dayton Development Coalition at Tank's, just to say thank you. There are lots of ways you can help with recovery efforts, but one easy and important one is by shopping and eating at local establishments. Throughout this summer, we're asking people to help with the recovery by spending your money locally at local businesses. Post about it when you do on social media with the hashtag #ShopDaytonStrong. With that, we'll turn it over to the city manager and a slew of updates for you all.
Thanks, ma'am. So the first thing I want to do is correct some misinformation that was printed in the Dayton Daily News article yesterday with regards to our pressure maps. Behind me, you see on the map, screen, a map that shows or depicts the Dayton service area. It has a low pressure area in yellow. It has the high pressure area in red, and then it has the super high pressure area in the blue. You didn't hear much about super high because it was unaffected during this storm. So it was only the low and the high that you heard about. So I wanted to make sure that you had that information to correct and also to use in the future so that you can refer to that. For our water update today, all water service has been restored. Only Brookville remains on a boil advisory, but we expect that to be lifted yet this evening. Water Conservation Directive has also been lifted, and notifications have begun to our largest industry users to resume operations. And with that, I will and I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking with you about some effort that the city administration did today. You've heard us talk about Neighborhood Matters, our program for citizen engagement involving our mid-management staff. And so today was to be the kickoff for our Neighborhood Matters. In light of the tornado activity, we shifted our first walkabout to walk Old North Dayton. And we had about 50 mid-management, management, and executive city staff visiting Old North Dayton residents today, and nearly 500 homes were attempted to be contacted. While many residents of these impacted neighborhoods will never be the same and have been devastated in ways that we can't even hardly imagine, the spirits remained relatively high, and we were very pleased about that. General discussions with the residents included needing assistance for medical needs. There was a lot of conversation about oxygen and prescription medication, for which our fire departments began providing assistance to. We continue to obviously have needs for assistance in handling downed trees and debris, and Tom Ritchie will be providing an update on how to handle debris and tree removal here in a minute. We were also able to inform many residents that the boil advisory had actually been lifted as well, so that was very helpful. All in all, our citizens have been extremely appreciative of the community response. And the community response across the city, outside of impacted areas, inside of impacted areas, regardless of religion, ethnicity, gender, folks came out unsolicited, as providing help, providing food and water, and the citizens generally felt a great deal of support during this natural disaster. So now I will turn it over to Tom Ritchie to give you the update on roadways and debris removal.
Good afternoon. In the neighborhoods of impact, DeWeese, Wrightview, Old North Dayton, and North Riverdale, Public Works crews will continue to circulate through these neighborhoods, removing debris from the curbs. If you live outside of those 4 neighborhoods, we still would ask that you continue to call the Public Works call center at 333-4800 and schedule a bulk pickup so that we can focus resources in those 4 impacted neighborhoods. Additionally, we are finalizing arrangements for 3 contractors to assist residents in the 4 impacted neighborhoods with large tree removal. And we'll have more details about that coming out Monday. We do have a community cleanup scheduled for tomorrow morning. It's going to be at 8:30 and go until approximately 5. Anyone that is interested in volunteering for the cleanup, you can park at 1508 Valley Street in the parking lot there, and we'll provide shuttles from that location over to the actual work sites. We are asking that if you do come out and participate, that you keep in mind that there's a lot of debris that's going to be down and that you dress appropriately. We recommend wearing long pants and not wearing open-toed shoes. Onto the roadways. All the roadways in the city have been cleared. Of the 80 traffic signals that were down, we currently have 5 that are remaining out. They're located at Stanley and 75, Riverton and Shoup Mill, Stanley Avenue and Kiwi, Kuntz, and Troy Streets. So please just continue to exercise caution when traveling in those areas.
Now you turn it over.
Mr. Carper?
Thank you. Hello, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Matt Carper, Assistant Chief of Police. Along the lines of the traffic signals, I just wanted to add a couple of comments. Just as a reminder, when citizens do approach a traffic signal that is at four-way flash, they're required to stop and treat it as a four-way stop sign, and then proceed with caution. The same rules apply if the signal is not operational at all. If a signal is dark, treat it as a four-way stop. If the signal is flashing yellow, they can proceed with caution. We do have officers who are assisting with some intersections, and then we also have temporary stop signs located at some of the intersections as well. In addition to that, we wanted to remind the public about potential scammers trying to take advantage of their need in home repairs and the removal of debris. And since the storm went through on Monday night, we've had officers assigned to each of the affected areas to not only patrol the areas but also provide connection to resources that are available for those victims of the storm. In addition, we're pushing out crime prevention information through social media, as well as our police newsletters that we send out to communities, community groups, and individuals within the city of Dayton. The Ohio Attorney General's office just released they issued a release on scammers, which is a very comprehensive release, and I think that's a good opportunity for you to share that with your viewers. Just a few key points to remember for your viewers. To research the Better Business Bureau and make sure that they have a clear understanding of what the track record of the business that is soliciting their participation. Get multiple written estimates. Don't make large advance payments in advance. Get a detailed written contract and pay with a credit card if possible, because that does provide some added protection. And people can also go to the Ohio Attorney General's website for additional information. And as always, please report crimes or suspicious activity to the Dayton Police Department by calling 333-COPS. Thank you.
Hey, Todd, your turn. Okay.
I'm going to jump in right before Todd comes up. We just got word that the boil advisory is being lifted for Brookville. So notification is going out, and we're all up and back to normal.
That's great news.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Todd James. I'm with the American Red Cross. We continue to provide shelter, food, relief, and assistance to those affected by these tornadoes. So far, we have nearly 170 trained disaster workers on the ground. We've provided 350 overnight stays in our shelters so far and served over 3,000 meals and snacks. We will continue to provide these services for as long as they are needed. Our mobile feeding units, in collaboration with the Salvation Army, are going out into the affected areas, delivering lunches and water, and will continue doing that. We also, beginning tomorrow, will be distributing emergency relief supplies and cleanup supplies. These are items such as cleaning supplies, gloves, rakes, shovels, and we'll do this in the area where people can safely begin returning to their homes. We'll have units, mobile units that are going out into those areas to deliver the supplies. We'll also have 2 fixed locations where people can come in and pick up supplies. And those will be at the Meijer at 9200 North Main Street in Inglewood, and at the U.S. Bank at 2350 North Gettysburg Avenue in Dayton. At the U.S. Bank location, we will also have our mobile communications unit, and this is where folks can take advantage of wireless service to contact their family, their friends, their insurance companies, as well as register with our Red Cross Safe and Well website to let loved ones who are outside of the area know that they are okay. Anyone who needs services or has questions about assistance but isn't staying in a shelter is encouraged to please come to one of our shelters. We do have information on assistance available there. You can come in for a meal, to get a cold drink, or just to rest and relax in between working on the cleanup or whatever you are doing at this time. We have 4 shelters remaining open at Morton Middle School, the Corinthian Baptist Church, the First Baptist Church of Kettering, and Mount Enon Baptist Church. Also want to say thank you to the citizens of the greater Miami Valley, because the outpouring of support and folks looking to volunteer and help has been overwhelmingly positive. We've received over 700 people who have signed up to volunteer in just a 24-hour period. We want to let you know that recovery is a long process. So we're going to need help for weeks and months down the road. So as you sign up to volunteer, understand that it may not necessarily be tomorrow, but there will be opportunities to help the community as the recovery process continues.
Thank you, Todd. Okay, that was a lot of information. Any questions?
Do you know how much you're going to be able to clear from private properties with these contracts? Like, do you have any idea how much of the debris you'd be able to remove?
So that, like we said, we're working on those agreements right now, and we'll have more information after the first of the week. We do know that we estimated over 1,400 trees that was down, and there's a lot of things that's in the backyards that we're not even aware of yet. So it's hard to say, how much more is out there and what we'll be dealing with.
Do you expect to be able to, like, people will be able to pull the tree limbs to the curb like that?
In the affected areas, yes. Yes. Yeah, we'll continue to cycle the crews through over the next 2 weeks and continue to remove the debris in those 4 neighborhoods.
Thank you. Any other questions? We have the Dayton numbers. We gave them yesterday. It's around,
Just under 6,000, 5,900.
just in Dayton, we did 50, they were not, the affected area was
The
5,900 houses.
affected area was 5,900.
And then the like severely damaged was like 48, and moderate damage was a couple hundred, right? Other questions? You're all good?
Is there any other next steps that we should know about, like the city plans to take in terms of trying to, help those neighborhoods recover?
Yeah, we'll continue. I mean, Monday we'll have more announcements around what we're doing when it comes to debris, and then, we're encouraging. I think as the Red Cross said, this is a long process, right? And some people's lives will be dramatically different, and so we're going to be doing different kinds of efforts over the next few months, and just like, from encouraging people to shop over the next few months is really important too, because these disasters take a hit on the economy. People are, there'll be some people that are out of work, and we had manufacturing facilities that went down, so there's nowhere for those folks to work. So there's those kind of challenges, and I think what we need to recognize is, it's going, this catastrophic event is affecting people very, very differently. So some people, nothing changed, right? They had water, they had electricity. It was like, oh yeah, did you hear what happened 10 miles down the road? For some of us, didn't have electricity or water, but our houses are safe. And for a good portion of the community, they don't have anything. And so that recovery is going to take time, and we encourage citizens to pay attention and not just think about this as this week, and we'll continue to do that too. Well, certainly, one of the things right now is we're just trying to do stabilization, and I know that we'll have lots of help from workforce development and other folks. There will be jobs available. We have lots of jobs right now in the city, and opportunities, but, getting people to the right place, and I'm sure on their minds, and we'll continue to work that. Yes?
You got contractors coming in for tree removal, so people wait until they, the city, they find out what the city's plans are, or should they, if they be looking to get contractors to clear for themselves? What are you recommending people do at this point?
So if they have the means to take care of removing it, I would certainly recommend for them to go ahead and do it. And if they bring it out to the curb, then we're going to take and remove it from there. But, if they don't have the means to do it, then that's really what we're focusing on with these other 3 contracts that we're looking at coming out with.
Would that be a question of days before that starts? Or?
Yeah, we'll have more information Monday. Like I said, we're still in the stages of finalizing it, so.
Next week at some point?
Yes.
We'll know more?
Yeah.
Also, when you feel law enforcement's response is then going to continue curfews or anything to prevent looting, or are there any concerns or things about that for people who might be afraid of looters coming to their house? Are you patrolling? What's your response to that?
Yeah, to answer your question, we've had officers patrolling assigned to those very specific impacted neighborhoods since the storm came through, and that is continuing. So that continues every night, and we are patrolling those areas. So like with any neighborhood, we want people to be vigilant and call the police if they see any suspicious activity or to report a crime. But we do have officers assigned to those specific areas.
Any curfews?
No.
Have you been dealing with any crime associated with the storm damage? I mean, what are you seeing, what are they seeing on the streets when they're patrolling?
Well, we're still evaluating that to see if there's a direct connection, or if it's just, you know, something that is more generic.
You good? Everybody good? Yeah?
You mentioned number of buildings affected, but how many people? Do you have a number of how many people?
No, we don't. We just have the number of buildings. I mean, I think the big takeaway, too, we really want to push is folks, some folks went to shelter, but most people sheltered with their family members. We really want them to sign up with the Red Cross because as we go through disaster recovery, that will be very helpful to get service once we're hopeful we'll get federal designation. So if you are sheltering with someone else, please stop by a Red Cross shelter and sign up. That's really important, okay?
So people will be here on Monday. Can you kind of talk about
They'll be here, not on Monday, they'll be here like later next week.
later? Can you kind of talk about that process and what we can expect?
So, like I said before, our housing and building inspectors went through and did an assessment. We turned that to the county, we turned that to the state. Governor DeWine sent his designation request to the federal government. Now, Senators Brown and Portman will push for federal designation. We hope to have that soon. The FEMA folks coming next week, they're not coming to talk to, like, do any sign-ups. It's just their assessment, and so then we'll hope to have that very soon. But sign up at the Red Cross if you've been displaced. Okay? Thank you all.